Oh well, they'll wheel them out of the assisted living facility, and they can catch it on Twitter.
Why the fuck did I schedule it for 2, Joe?
I don't know. Can everybody else get in?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It went live on. Yeah, there's some. It went
No, I
live
see someone.
on
YouTube.
YouTube and Twitter. So we're
Cool.
good. I haven't done that
Oh,
before.
even better. Yeah, there you go.
Everybody's gonna mail you a
So,
razor.
yeah, no, I'm still sick, but I went running this morning again, so I'm not
Oh,
that sick.
nice.
It just feels like a summer cold,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Well,
So,
I got rid of the wife and daughter left this morning. I got up at 4:30 to take them to catch. They're on a school trip to Disney, so
oh,
I'm actually getting some fucking work done today because there's no interruptions every 20 minutes, so that's good.
yeah, that's sort of what happens when you work out of the house, kind of thing.
Yeah,
You get like I was at a daughter's tennis matches yesterday at 1:30. I think I got there, and it's friggin' hot as well. It's not hot, but the sun is super strong out there. I
yeah,
must have drank a gallon of water, and all the parents were like fading on the sidelines, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is like the first really strong sun day we've had.
yeah.
Last weekend to now. So you come back exhausted, and the last thing you want to do is any work. But
Exactly.
then you sit there and realize you've streamed every single show on every channel there is, and you're like, okay, I guess I have to do some tokenomics or something.
Dude,
So,
my son and I have been watching the sickest fucking show ever put
which
on
one?
television. It's called The Boys, and it is on Amazon, and it is excellent, but it is also sick as fuck. Let me just tell you, it is
What's so twisted about it, man? Is
oh,
it gory,
dude,
gory, or is it?
gory as fuck. So these are this is like it's a parody on Marvel and superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a bunch of superheroes who are bad actors, and it is violent as fuck. I have never seen anything like this show. I mean, absolutely ever. But it's so well done. It is unbelievable. Chuck says Homelander for the win. Yeah, Homelander is the lead super character who's a piece of shit. Um,
Is this the one where, like, the very first episode, they're in trouble because they're all like running around reckless, and like somebody gets like taken out by a superhero to stand in the street decapitated or something like that because they were
yes,
flying by drunk and
yes,
fast or something?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I watched one of those episodes. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
dude, it
twisted
just
shit.
gets that, and that isn't even. That is like
Tip of the iceberg.
that's like a 1950s Western level of violence compared to what comes later.
Oh God.
Dude, it is some sick shit. So anybody that's watched the show will know what I'm talking about. But last night, everybody warns you about season 3, episode 1, with an unbelievably painful, violent, disgusting death that makes every man want to crawl in a hole and die. So it is just, oh, Jesus Christ! It is a sick show, but it's so well done and so captivating, and the statements that it makes all the way through. Like I was watching with my son in the first season, and there had been, I won't give any spoilers for people who haven't seen it, but there had been this big plane disaster that could have been avoided. And this character Homelander, who's the top superhero amongst in the company that is all the superhero company, is giving a speech on a beach where they're pulling up the wreckage of this plane, and he he starts quoting George W's speech at 9/11, and like not quoting it, saying he's quoting it, just giving the speech, right? Those people will hear from us soon. La, la, la. I mean, it was just like, and I turned to my son and he's like, what? And I'm like, they are totally fucking parodying. That's why he's named Homelander, Homeland Security,
Security,
and
yeah.
all the scare tactics to scare the shit out of. Anyway, great show. Highly recommend. That's enough of that. But just unbelievable. Chuck says, wait till the end of last season. No spoilers, but Homelander equal MT. Oh, Marjorie. Well, we're already there with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Shit. So anyway, we're already there. Okay, so real quick, I want to make sure everyone is aware. You remember yesterday, Joe, when we were looking at that exciting new lending platform, Apollo
ApolloX.
DAO? Yeah. And the one I thankfully did not connect to. Well, it turns out that the news feed I was using thought that the original article was a Reuters article, but the scammers actually created a scam Reuters site with coverage of their protocol and their own scam website. Thankfully, their sites have been suspended. But if you went ahead and took the chance yesterday when we said don't and connected to it, you need to go revoke permissions because ApolloX DAO, as they always say, if it's too good to be true, it's too fucking good to be true. So it was a total scam, and you should revoke permissions. I actually reached out to the guy that provides these. It's an AI automated feed. Let him know that he had allowed some shit to creep in there. He said he was working on fixing that as well. So anyway, Sean said, "What? Fake leverage? No."
Yeah, I guess that's the ultimate one about if you don't know where the yield's coming from. You are the yield.
You are the yield. So, Joe, tell me, out of the last 20 startup funded deals in DeFi, what do you think the largest 1 and 2 categories for investments are? What kind of startups are they?
Shit, maybe like DeFi and GameFi.
So, what do you mean by DeFi?
Decentralized science. Some type of life sciences play.
Infrastructure and gaming. You got it. You got 50-50 on that one. Infrastructure and gaming. Infrastructure, gaming, and data. Data had number 3 spot out of the ones I looked at. But people are still getting funded in the space, but no protocols are getting funded.
Canto, are you considering Canto infrastructure or... Canto
being a blockchain, it'd probably be its own separate category, but I would probably put it, if I had to push it into one of those, I would put it into infrastructure.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting. But I did run into a few projects that I thought were pretty cool from that list. So this one is called Strider, and on their website, they're very evasive about what they're doing. But it turns out it's a story-based gaming platform that allows people to kind of create the stories and the games themselves while they're playing the game. And they raised $5.5 million. And their approach to this whole thing sounds really interesting. And they've got, some big names coming into it: Makers Fund, Fabric Ventures, Shima Capital, the guys I know, Sfermion, who also put money into Walk-In, both of those did, Magic Eden, and it was founded by a former Andreessen Horowitz partner named Andrew N. Green. So interesting play. I love this idea of playing on stories and tying it into DeFi and a gaming platform. So it's cool. Niblet says regularly revoke permissions on the scanners, Etherscan, Snowscan, etc. Or if you use Rabi wallet, you can do it all in the wallet. All revoking capabilities are built into the wallet. It keeps track of it for you, and you can revoke it all at once or one at a time in the Rabi wallet. So highly encourage, if you haven't used the Rabi wallet, give it a shot. That's not advice. You should make your own decisions, do your own research. For me, I've been using the product for a year and a half and very, very happy with it.
Mm-hmm. I tend to do the revoke. I don't do a lot of it on ETH. I've got a couple of wallets there that are just so bloated. But, I'm like, I just don't feel like going in and dropping $20 to revoke stuff.
Yeah.
Each one, because you're looking at like it's going to be a $2,000 spend day to do all that. So,
exactly.
But I definitely do it on Polygon and Phantom and all of those where it's just super super cheap.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what I'll do next. I just don't do a lot on ETH right now.
I am not either doing a ton. So yesterday I discovered a really cool tool, and I'm going to show you how I'm using it here in a minute, called HAL. Awesome tool. It allows me to set up alerts, API capabilities, all kinds of cool shit built into it. But then yesterday, Consensus buys it as part of their centralized Infura blockchain infrastructure. I was just like, what the fuck, man? Why does everything good have to go to, as I called it, Acme Centralized Corp? So anyway,
Yeah.
it's a
I
very
want to see
cool
what
tool.
I can't wait to see what they do with Planetary Resources. I haven't heard much out of that since they bought it 4 or 5 years ago.
I
The
have a
asteroid
feeling
miner.
there's not. I wonder if there's anything left of it. It's a great
I would,
concept.
dude, I'd say put a big bunch of Bitcoin mining farms up there on
you go.
asteroids and let
There
it go
you go.
screaming around, and it'd be a force total. So when it comes
That's
back in
cool.
like 98 years, you'll be a multi-trillionaire.
There you go.
Or your grandkids will.
I'm all good. I'm all good with that. Speaking of becoming dirty wealthy, Alexis Ohanian disclosed that he spent 15 grand on Ethereum when it was at 30 cents a pop. He still holds it, and it's now 550,000% ROI. So $82 million in Ethereum for a $15,000 investment. What year was that?
Wow.
I can't remember what year the pre-sale was, but yeah, that's a nice return.
But wasn't it? I sort of remember it get. I mean, not the 30 cents, but remember the last crypto winter? Didn't it get down to like $70 or something like that? Ethereum. I mean, I did remember it being really low.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had some dumps pretty low. I don't remember where the price scale was. We could always look at it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what I was thinking about Sean's, not financial advice in the Telegram channel about the post Shanghai upgrade release, potential ETH dump, down to what I don't remember what the range is. I want to say 300s or something. Whether that happens or not, I think that there's going to be. I was just thinking about Frohanian and like going, oh, you got 82 million now. Well,
Yeah,
you might be down to 20 here in a couple of months.
looks like the low since the 2020 range was $125.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean's now tipping in, sub $100.
Where? When?
Or maybe he's talking about pending,
Now it was. Oh, maybe he is talking about pending.
not financial advice, of course.
Let's see. It looks like the last time it broke was broke 100 was 2017.
Okay.
So
And then Litecoin must have gone down pretty low too, if I remember right. That might have been the one that got to 30 or something. But but they always come back, I guess until they don't one day.
absolutely.
But it's there's so much exciting stuff going on. I mean, just in like booking interviews for ETH Denver and the different protocols that are approaching.
Yeah.
It's like there's some. I don't want to talk about it now until after we do the interviews to share it with the audience. But there's just some amazing stuff out there that I was completely blown away by. That I didn't really realize how much all these problems we talk about all the time. How many companies are building or wheedling to solve that stuff? It's super impressive what's coming in this next wave. So to me, I don't look at, I was kind of just wanted to put that in about everything keeps coming back until it doesn't. I just see this next wave coming whenever it is got so much real value in it and real functionality that not that it hasn't had it to date, but it just keeps improving.
Yeah.
It just keeps improving. So, I'm super positive on that.
That's awesome. I'm just Sean said, nope, ETH went sub 100. I'm just trying to find out when it did.
Maybe there was a wick.
107 in March of 2020. Yeah, maybe there was a wick. I don't know.
Because those are probably monthly candles.
I figure 107 is
No,
close
no,
enough.
sorry.
Those are I think these are dailies.
They're-
These are dailies.
2013 to
Well,
20. Yeah, I
COVID,
can't.
this
what
is COVID dump. This is COVID dump. March 16th, 2020. It shows 107.92.
Okay.
But maybe it wicked down. I don't know. Maybe
I'm thinking
maybe they do
2019.
maybe they do closing high on this chart. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, okay. Let's see what else we have here today. Arbitrum is blowing up. User base is fastest growing among leading blockchains, and then I guess it was today. CoinDesk announced that it surpassed Ethereum in daily transaction volume.
Wow.
Yeah. So seems to be Seems to be blowing up. Sean says COVID dump went to $88. Let me know the date on that, man, if you can find it. But I certainly believe you more than I believe myself.
I'm really super impressed with what Arby's has been doing in this last year. I mean, obviously they were always doing.
For a second there, I was like, Arby's, like.
Oh yeah. Well, I say no, but there was a thing on there. The very first sort of play on Arbitrum was like Arby's Finance or something like that.
Oh, okay.
When I was over there a couple of years ago, and there was nothing going on, and so I was holding millions of those, and then I think it turned into Umami or something like that eventually. But it was just kind of, which has its own mess that I think somebody
they got
pointed
their
out
fucking
somewhere.
mess right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that now when I went back in there a ways ago just to see what was going on, and then you had all these new plays. Excuse me. And then now in the last 2 months, I mean, it's just blown sky high. What's going on over there? So, if you're not in there yet, you should get over there and do some stuff because they're going to have to do airdrops eventually. So you would think. Yeah, so you might want to just get in there and do some stuff in different plays, like whether it's GMX or it's this new Camelot's getting a lot of press these days, and a few other ones. I mean, there's just action, and I'm just thinking about it in vis-a-vis Polygon and Polygon laying off people. And I was reading a white paper yesterday. It was comparing the different chains and just some of the issues with Polygon that I wasn't really that familiar with, to be honest. I always loved it because of the fast transactions and the cheap gas fees, but that was just in the comparison to ETH back then. And I'm wondering how long it's going to take before Arbitrum, becomes the dominant player on the layer 2 landscape.
Yeah, well, it looks like it's trying like hell. Just a quick note: Sean is absolutely right. The drops tab chart sucks, but TradingView shows us at $88.33 on March 9th, and he's got March 13th, but. Maybe this is a weekly candle. So anyway, it did go to 88. It did go to $88 on March 13th, 2020. So just to clarify that for everyone. Eamon said, I remember that I bought BTC at 3,400 that day, thought about ETH, just stuck to BTC. That was the day I got back into crypto stuff after missing the 2017 run up from losing my keys. Good timing, Eamon, though. That's great fucking timing. Camelot is awesome. I've done a few of the launch pads, Shizzy says. So. Yeah,
I saw something today how one of their groups on one of the launch pads, I want to say OCT maybe, they pulled it, and there was a little, fight, public-private messaging fight going on where Camelot had to explain why they pulled the offering or why they kicked them out of the launch pad. So it's pretty, I like seeing that myself because it shows they're just not launching. And I'm not saying the project was bad or junk or anything, but obviously there was a reason. Yeah. And the fact that they're actually policing the space, I think is a good thing for everyone.
A project called, I haven't had a chance to dive deep into this yet, but I wanted to put it on your radar, Joe, because I think this will be interesting to you. This project called Swarm has launched the world's first tradable stocks and bonds. So these are not synthetics. These are actual, I guess, somehow putting, I don't know if they're putting certificates into tokens or how they're doing it, or if it's just it says asset-backed tokens available on Polygon for retail and institutional traders with no minimum investment. They're only starting with Apple, Tesla, and 2 bond ETFs, but that's cool to see. Yeah,
and they're launching in Germany, which has all that new legislation that makes things favorable over there in the crypto space. I think it's pretty cool that they are doing TradeFi instruments, stocks and bonds. Remember when Binance was trying to do something with it, but they were synthetics?
Oh yeah.
Remember this? And then they pulled that one after like 2 weeks because there was just too much heat coming at them.
Yeah, and Gaines still has that up.
They do. Oh,
yeah, okay. but it's only margined, only leveraged. You can't just flat trade it like Binance was.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I did that a little bit. I also remember I haven't been on there in a year plus, but I remember also those ETH up, ETH down, BTC up, BTC down tokens. And if you ever wanted to hedge positions, you would just go in and stock up on the down ones. And then if it was an easy way to short stuff and protect the stack. But you had to pay attention, obviously, and people don't. So
Yeah, exactly.
but
Exactly.
This is
Eamon
cool.
says on-chain settlement speed yet with old fi stock settlement speeds of days seems like they're going to get screwed by that discrepancy in settlement times. I don't know how they're handling the settlement times. I would assume it's going to function very much kind of like how your TradFi broker does when you trade.
They're probably going to be a market maker too, so they'll be holding like liquidity pool equivalents of these stocks and bonds.
Yeah.
So they have them on hand. So you probably get filled quickly, but then they have to then resettle.
Yep.
Is my guess.
I thought this was a kind of a bullshit deal, but I actually read the details. Tencent's making a huge play with their cloud offering into Web3. First of all, they did a deal with Anchor. Anchor now has done deals with Google, Microsoft, Azure, and now Tencent Cloud for providing their infrastructure nodes and capabilities and staking capabilities branded for these providers. So, I've always been a fan of Anchor and what they were doing in the past, and I've used their liquid staking modules quite a bit. But this to me is Tencent making this move along with Microsoft and Google to partner with Anchor for Anchor to provide them with their infrastructure for Web3 is pretty powerful. So,
yeah, no, I mean Anchor's been killing it, and the other one I've been watching a lot lately is Liquidity. Or Liquidity, sorry. That we've known, you've talked about a lot. I think you've interviewed them on the Mission DeFi side a couple times too.
Yep.
They've been just popping the last couple of days. I think I saw a little correction today, but there's something big going on there too. And I do have us, you or me, one of us, you got us into the Liquidity thing in Denver, yeah. So. We're going to get the full scoop there as to what's going on. Why is this moving deals? So we'll be able to talk about that hopefully on the show soon. But that's one to keep an eye on too, guys. Anchor,
no
Liquidity,
Shizzy,
all of them.
No Shizzy, not the same Anchor, dude. Not even close to the same Anchor. It's totally different project. Diblet says WeChat CDBC's coming right up. Yeah, probably so. This is the one we talked about yesterday. Let me move on. This was some interesting data I pulled up the other day, and I thought it was interesting. The 12 crypto assets with the biggest year-to-date gains, that was as of 3 days ago. So let me see, where was that list? Here we go.
Oh, Tron. Wow.
The leader among the 12 is the native token to a game on BSC called Cyber Dragon. The token is called Binary X, has gained 613% against the US dollar. BNX is followed by the artificial intelligence crypto asset from Singularity Net, another interview I have up on with the founder up and CEO up on Mission DeFi. AGIX has gained 277%. Of course, artificial intelligence is kind of getting that artificial pump with all the open AI shit.
Can I ask a quick question? Is that the same Singularity that we were looking at in 2018 that had Sophia? It had Hanson Robotics involved? Okay.
The guy who built Sophia is one of the founders of
this Singularity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was introduced to them by it was actually Royal Bank of Canada people that were banking their money. And I was kind of like, they got some wacky professor types there that just, have that Einsteinian hair look and they look super, super smart. Yeah. So I'm glad to see they're still around and still kicking it this, 5 years later.
Yeah. OKX token OKB is next at 106. Wait a minute. Well, it doesn't say. 169%. Trust Wallet token, also a Binance product, up 162%. And two tokens associated with liquid staking, Lido, 116%, Rocket Pool, 80%, and another AI token, Fetch.ai, was up 30.26%, and Quant Network was up 27.12% in the last 12 months. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Tron up 10.61%, CDAI. These are useless after that.
Other things like
the ones that are up.
Yeah, I mean, but they're going year to date, right? Like a 12-month or 365-day cycle. So
exactly.
Everybody was rolling down. I think I'd be kind of curious, like the last, 6 weeks. what tokens are up the most then.
Year to date, or not even year to date.
Yeah, or even just this year. Even just year to date.
January, February.
23. Yeah, I'd be really curious to see what's there because there's been a lot of stuff moving. I mean, I've seen 16s and 20Xs so far in these 2 months. And so things are hopping. The other thing I thought was interesting was what would be on those lists too would be like Stellar, Cardano, and Tron, all those legacy ones from the 2018 cycle. And, I saw Cardano was at like 40 cents the other day and Stellar was inching up. They're all like launching new things. And, Tron is doing whatever Tron does, rolling dice or something. I don't know what they do, but, I guess it takes lots of billions of people to roll dice to create a value proposition. But the point is that they're all still moving up. So, and your buddy over at Cardano, your pal, what's his name? Hoskins.
Yeah, Hoskinson.
Yeah, but they're all probably, I don't know about Tron, but, Stellar and Cardano must be clean regulatory wise in this country, like Algorand, because
I think
they haven't been like
I think Cardano's trying to position themselves as that, but they don't get as much attention, right? Because, essentially all they are is a token. I mean, they have a chain, but.
Yeah, I remember there was, when I was trying to get a couple
not much going on there.
Yeah, well, there wasn't much going on either 4 or 5 years ago.
And it took a couple of days for every transaction to seed at that point. I don't know if they fixed that or not. So,
you remind me now, didn't all those guys come out of the Stellar guys and the Cardano guys come out of the original Ethereum team?
I don't know the Stellar origins. Obviously, Charles was on the original Ethereum team. I don't know how many people he brought along to Cardano or if he just built a new team. I don't know. But Charles was the CEO of Ethereum for about, 12 or 13 minutes. So before they all the whole team told him to get the fuck out because he was an asshole. So
well, he's got that personality disorder, and I don't mean it in a health way. I just mean it as an asshole.
And he was lying. So, he was saying he'd served in special forces. He'd never been in the military. What? Oh yeah, all kinds of shit. The book by what's her name from Unchained podcast is really good. Shit. Now I can't remember the name of the book. It's Ethereum something. Anyway, great book. I'll find it and put it in the show notes, but it talks about how those discussions went. Hey,
I remember some story. Oh, sorry. Final story on Hoskins. I remember one thing when Mark Cuban, he was trying to pitch Mark Cuban into Cardano, and Cuban like messages back, okay, so tell me. And he's like, oh no, when I send a plane, you can fly up to my ranch in Colorado and we can spend a couple of days talking about it. Cuban's like, if you can't explain it to me in 15 seconds, I don't want to hear it. But anyway, next topic.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Hey, if you're hiring, I'm going to put this in the show notes. There's a list of the Polygon people that were laid off this week that's circulating around. And there's some pretty skilled and quality people that have done some really great work if you go through this over at Polygon. So everything from design to development to HR, operations, product management, all kinds of shit. So I encourage if you're looking for talent, take a look at this list. It's growing. But these are the folks, some of the folks that have been, not all the folks that have been laid off, but some of the folks that were laid off at Polygon. So.
Wow. And that's across the board too. That's like strategy people, HR people, designers.
Yeah. I think they did like a whack across, let's just cut
last one in, first one
probably
out.
Engineer. I would say engineering probably had the least cut, but that's to be expected in this world. This what was this? What was this? Oh, this is a project that sounds like it's going to try to take on Masari and others, Nansen, for offering data services, but also making some of the data open. So the ability for people to build their own dashboards, as well as an AI-based chat GPT-powered crypto search engine, which is actually out, I think, in alpha right now. So for people to try out. So it's Kaito, Kaito. Just raised 5.3 million from Dragonfly and some other folks. But sounds like an interesting play. It'll be interesting to see how they leverage ChatGPT in this thing. But evidently, they already had a lot of the other components and data pieces in place. Prior to that, this is their website. They have institutional and individual personal products. The individual product is the search engine, and then the institutional is all in one based search-based research platform. So I guess it's more of a, hey, we'll help you save this information, pull the data together, whatever. So anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
So I talked earlier about, why is this page not loading? Oh, let me go back over here and make sure there wasn't anything I missed here. Oh, in the ridiculous world, we still have ridiculousness. There's a Dow trying to buy a Scottish golf course. Evidently, they're trying to buy for 900 grand. It tells you where the value of golf courses are these days, or the value of the ones they're targeting. But from everything I understand, golf courses are sinking in value around the world, which was part of what Trump's problems were financially, because they made such a big bet on golf courses. Yeah, we're still doing this kind of stuff. I mean, look, I love the idea of a group getting together to take part in real world businesses. I love that as a DAO. I think it's brilliant. I'd love to see it, but I'd like to see it into businesses that are more about actually making money than, hey, all of us get to go play golf whenever we want in Scotland, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, also, I don't see this reminds me of, what was it, Constitution DAO? Yeah. I mean, they basically publicly announced their bid. So then if it is indeed for sale, somebody else rolls in and says, I'll give you 950 grand. Yeah, I think you do this stuff through an LLC or some other whatever instrument, and then you convert it into a DAO after you own the property, you know, rather than going in and telegraphing all your moves. Because I think that there's this whole push on tokenizing real estate assets, $64 trillion market or something, which actually sounds kind of light to me. But it's a lot of opportunity to unlock value that we can only unlock through selling it or through HELOCs or something like that. You know, you can't just slice off 5% and go, jump into a yield farm or something, or, go lend it to a relative. And I think that kind of stuff is coming. So I like the move, but I don't like the implementation sequence on it.
Yeah, I agree. So I told you guys I set up that HAL system that Consensus bot, and so I set up a yield alert on stable single-sided assets, etc., and then I set another one up on larger yields over 20%. I just wanted to see what came up, and we haven't looked at like yield opportunities in a long time, so I thought I'd just climb through some of these. This one is, I guess you say open. I've seen this protocol before. I don't remember in the context of the discussion what we did, Joe, with regards to this one, but this one's got a 19.93% annualized USDC return. Again, not financial advice. I'll put all of these links to the ones that I found in the show notes. But this is just more to let you know what's out there. You should make your own decisions, do your own research. This one is a trio of FUSDT, WBTC, and ETH over at Beefy Phantom. These are curve pools, and it's paying 22.92% interest. And there's 2.88 million locked in it at this point. So I guess you have to go pool it and then come over to Beefy on Phantom and get your 22.92% with your FUSDT, WBTC, and ETH there. So I thought that was an interesting one. This one is
what's Canto paying right now? Just out of curiosity, in those staking models, I hear you guys talking a lot about it.
The straight Canto staking for delegating for providing security to the network is 14.42%, and then the Canto note pair is at like 211% when you put it into lending. So you LP and then lend. So it's paying, and it pays in Canto. This one is interesting only because this is DeFi chain. You and I have talked about DeFi chain before. It's kind of the hypey Bitcoin, Bitcoin-ish layer 2 on Bitcoin that's trying to claim it's DeFi for Bitcoin. I've done nothing on this chain. When I started to look at it, the founder is way too shilly and hypey for me, but they're paying 22.22% on their on the DeFi chain USD stablecoin. So if somebody wants to journey over and find out what that's like, please feel free to let us know. So, Ronora says 27% fixed on Y curve on Resonate. Oh, that's cool. Definitely. I'll check that out. And Sean said, high yield is like jumping off a tall building. It feels like flying until you hit the ground. Well, you just got to know when to get the fuck out. You also have to keep an eye on what the rewards are in, right? If the rewards are in that protocol's token, then you need to be dumping those tokens unless you have some specific reason to think that they're going to go up in value. If you believe that has potential, then, go for it. That's your choice. Niblet says, given the risk, double-digit returns just aren't enough. He said across the entire space, not just any one project. Sean said double-digit returns are the risk. What would you say if somebody came in and just saw those sets of comments? Would you say we're in a bearish state of mind with some of our viewers and listeners, Joe?
Well, especially when Super Bear is leading the whole thing,
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go look at some more. Oh, this one's good. Matic USDC on Arrakis finance on Polygon, 21.97%. This one is a WETH on Uniswap V3 on Polygon, so it's just ETH, 12.49%. Far better than you'd get just staking ETH. And, this is cool because I am always fascinated by providing liquidity for bridges. I mean, obviously bridges have their issues from a security perspective that we've all been concerned about. There's a bridge on Polygon called Allbridge. USDC staking there is 16.68%. No impermanent loss, unless it's permanent loss because some hacker takes your shit. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, this one I like. This is Frax ETH. So that's their staking token for their new staking offering on Ethereum, and then just straight ETH on Solidly, then dumped into Beefy on the Ethereum chain, 18.32%. Now you're at the point of tripling standard ETH staking at this point if you went this route. Something like this, Solidly, Beefy, all on Ethereum. This is something I'd probably dip my toes into if I was holding a lot of Ethereum myself. That's not financial advice. Do your own research, figure your shit out. But I certainly like 18% on Ethereum.
It's hard though, because you're like tripling protocol risk, but at the same time, like when you say Canto and Node at 220%, I'm like, how do you not go for that? Because Node is their stable, right? I mean, I'm not doing anything over there. Yeah. So you're basically doing a liquidity pool with a stable, both in the same system. And so, to me, that is I don't want to say safe or not safe, but it's a less complicated play. And it's something that has a big upside future from stacking those tokens, like, you point out a couple of times in a row. So I don't know. What do you think, Brad? I'm not trying to
I totally agree with you. That's what I'm doing. Too. Look, if I was holding a chunk of ETH right now, it would be heading out. This is one of the places I'd be looking to put it because I feel comfortable with everybody involved in this equation. So from my perspective, I'm okay with it. Niblet says, agree, double-digit yields indicate extreme risk and the upside isn't enough to warrant taking it. Risk 100,000 for a chance to earn 20,000 or go to zero. No, thanks. Look, you guys, I really do understand everyone's cynicism because we've all been burned on quadruple-digit risk in the past. But here's what I would say to you. There are a lot of plays right now on the liquidity side of things with projects that I think have long-term outlooks, Ethereum, Frax, that for me, putting a small amount in something like this is worth that risk because if these two die, we have much bigger problems in the space, right? And I know that my entire portfolio is wrecked right now if that's the case. So from my perspective, yes, you should make your own research, do your own research, make your own decisions, decide your own risk tolerance. But I like having some upside, higher side risk that I can play around with and take my profits and dump them. That's just me. I like to do that occasionally. It's certainly not ever more than, right now, 5 to 10% of my portfolio. Now on the Canto thing, Joe, I have a nice chunk built up in there now and I'm putting more in.
Yeah.
And that's because I want to accumulate Canto. And, again, it's a long-term crazy ass bet but I think that Canto has legs for being a long-term player, and I'd like to end up being the, what is it, 6 years from now, having the 550,000% return on stacking Canto. So Sean said, Niblet says, note Canto at 200% is more like it. Note mitigates the risk. Canto promises huge upside. That's a welcome deal. Yeah, so I'm betting on stacking that. Sean says, how does someone generate 20% return on an ETH play? That's the only question. Well, so there's multiple components to this. The first is that Frax is staking the ETH that you put into as validator nodes on the Ethereum network. Securing the Ethereum network is number one. Number two, they're then using that in their other protocols. I think lending, but I can't remember how all it gets used, but they're using it in multiple protocols. And then number three, Solidly is a liquidity providing mechanism. So I assume that's part of how that's all working and working with it. And then of course, Beefy is just compounding for you on a multiple times a day basis. So you're optimizing the yield that you're getting that would probably be normally 12% or whatever it would be. But because you're automating the compounding in Beefy, you're getting more. So
look at Niblets' comment.
What'd he say?
His last one.
Buy my ETH LP token and I'll send you an NFT with the answer, Sean. Hey, Toncoin. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead. That was a quick question. So you get the 6%. Frax gets the 6% of that 20 by sticking it in nodes, or some percentage of it comes from that.
Yep. And then they're leveraging it into their protocol, but I don't remember how they're doing it. But they are. They already provide a higher return on Frax ETH than you would get on just normal staking ETH. But I don't remember.
So are they paying out of transaction fees in that protocol,
I don't remember how they're
treasury. Okay, all right.
How they're doing it.
Because it is interesting and then Beefy being the auto compounder, I don't know how that works these days. I remember back when it was APR, APY, on ETH, how you can, what kind of numbers they get. And then the final one, Solidly, what is it that they do again? I can't remember. That's the liquid staking, right?
Liquidity.
Okay, liquidity pools. All right.
I'm trying
to find
the current Frax ETH payout APY. Hold on. Yeah, so right now, Frax is paying 7.59% on SFRX ETH, which is Frax ETH staked, because they're utilizing it elsewhere. I'd have to go back and look at the documentation, but I think they were using it in lending. I just don't remember for sure.
Got it.
But that's one of the advantages for Frax having built out their entire ecosystem at this point. They got lending, liquidity pools, swaps, everything built into their protocol now. So they control it and can optimize it much better than somebody who's a third party to a third party to a third party. So that's why you get the higher yields utilizing the Frax market. Yes, Frax could collapse. Don't get me wrong. It is collateralized and hybrid algorithmic stablecoin. All of it's dependent in that ecosystem on Frax. They also have FPI, which is the inflation pegged stablecoin. It could all collapse. I'm just saying that I think that's one that I would probably make a high risk bet on for the double digit returns.
They're definitely a leader in the space. Yeah. Frax.
Yeah.
And Sam's a good guy from what I've seen in the interviews you've done with him. So obviously I'm not trying to diminish that. I'm just kind of looking at that 200 plus over Canto note.
So Sean said, sorry, dude, that sounded exactly like a Ponzi. Maybe just me. Eamon said Frax ETH gets nothing from validators. It's like WETH. If you stake Frax ETH, you get the yield of all the ETH validators. If you stake Frax ETH, you get the yield of all. Right, but to get Frax ETH, they're staking it themselves, I think, unless I'm just completely messing this up, Eamon. You are welcome to correct me, dude. Sean says, any yield above the staking fee is suspect or a recursive loop. There are definitely loops going on here. Eamon said staked Frax ETH. He said it's really, really cool. Sean said, I'll shut up. Don't ever shut up, Sean. Please don't. This is interesting, Joe, just because it's Toncoin.
Yeah.
And on Uniswap version 3 on Ethereum, which is really interesting. Anyway, paying paired with Ethereum 22.98%. No idea I mean, it's on Uniswap, but no idea what the machinations are for that one. I just thought it was interesting that it was Toncoin. This is a Uniswap token with Ethereum at 28.81%. Of course, all of these last few, you've got impermanent loss risk. These are not stable coins paired up. They're not single-sided. There is always going to be impermanent loss. Liquidity providing historically loses money. You need high returns to be willing to provide it anymore. That kind of stuff. So
and also remember, anything with ETH, I mean, there is speculation about post-Shanghai upgrade, about a big selling wave. So, it's good that you brought up impermanent loss, because if you think that's going to happen, then
you got to make sure you do your math, and the rewards are going to far outweigh what's going to happen with that. And if we have a big dump coming, that could get worse very fast. Niblet says, I'm happy to risk 4 to 5 figure investments in high risk Ponzi's. I'll give you a call this afternoon, Niblet. No, I'm kidding. But there's no way I'd put 6+ figures into the space. Real estate and ETFs for that scale for me. That makes sense, man. I think that's a smart strategy. I like it.
And BTC probably, right?
Yeah,
Niblets?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting to me, because this is ZRX's 0x, which is the one of the primary protocols being used across almost every DEX in the space. They are a legit high impact organization. And of course there's impermanent loss here. And I'm not sure, I have zero clue why on Uniswap it's paying this fucking high, unless they're just trying to really desperately boost liquidity for some reason. There's only 118,000 locked here, 168%. Both of these tokens, I personally, not investment advice, think have long-term potential. 0x is embedded in the ecosystem of everything on DeFi. So this one perplexed me because it's so fucking high. But I haven't dove into it to understand how well it's going to go. One thing I did
probably
know,
what you said, the size of the amount of funds in there and how long ago did it start.
Yeah.
I don't know that answer.
What's interesting is DeFi Llama has this thing now where their algorithm will predict where the current APY is going. So they're predicting that within 4 weeks, it should fall to about below 135.06% APY. So
how bad is that?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Nah.
Damn, fuck that.
Exactly. 0x BTC, also a 0x product, protocol product, only has 90,000 in, but a pairing of BTC and Ethereum at 25.52%. That's a liquidity pool play, obviously. And this is ETH to ETH. I don't know what ETH P is. I'm assuming it's some wrapped token somewhere on Arbitrum, obviously. And this is on SushiSwap on Arbitrum, and it's earning 13.91%. So you're basically pairing ETH to ETH, and you're getting 13.91%. On SushiSwap, only 31.7 thousand in TVL there right now.
Well, that's kind of interesting, though, because that eliminates sort of the, you would expect, whether it's, I don't know what the P on the wrap is, but you would expect those to move in tandem, that it wouldn't, one wouldn't go up and down. So impermanent loss should be off the table there. So it's almost like just staking ETH somewhere, and, where you can get 6% right now. And here you can get 14%. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking up ETH-P now. There's an ETH-P on Avalanche. Let me try it on Arbitrum and see what we get. Just to make sure it is pegged to ETH. It might not be. Maybe it's some other, thing.
Sean's going to throw some Russian Ponzi coin at this one, he said.
Awesome.
I think he means ETH.
Oh, that's funny as shit. I'm trying to find it. I can't find anybody that explains what the fuck it is.
ETH-P. All right. I was wondering if it was a Paxos thing. That's why I was.
Ooh. Let me see.
Because I can't think of anybody else. ETH-P price today. Ether print price today. Ether print. ETH-P is. There's also an ETH Plus. Okay, Ether print on Avalanche.
Yeah, I saw it on Avalanche, but we're looking for Arbitrum. I mean, maybe it's the same thing. I don't know, but I can't find any info.
But that one's not a tracked coin. So.
Oh, it is Ether print. It is Ether
It is print. Okay.
Yeah, it is Ether print. I found that. So
they give 5% of all transactions pay Ethereum Ether print holders in Ethereum. Smart contract designed to automatically send Ethereum to your wallet every time an Ether print transaction occurs. Yeah.
Okay, so this is not pegged. So I don't think it's pegged, is it?
ETH to ETH?
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be a good thing to know. Because, I've got a whole bag over here of ETHZ I can sell you.
Don't you have some Ethereum Max?
Yeah, I got tons of Ether Max. Yeah. I got it from Paul Pierce, and Kim Kardashian sold it to me.
That's funny. All right. Well, I'll look some more into it. Maybe I'll find some more info on it. Let's see what else we have. DAI at 6.89% on a bridge, that bridge that's called a cross. So providing liquidity on the other side of the bridge will get you 6.89% with your DAI stack. And this is the bridge. This is where it is. They also have USDC on their bridge at 6.74%, 8.58% for ETH. WBTC at 3.99%, and I guess ACX is their token, paying at 9.78%. They have a max number here. I have no fucking clue what that means. Your total API for the pool, including the pool API plus rewards APR times your multiplier. Oh, I assume. Okay, so the max has to do with probably you have to buy an NFT or something, and you're staking on their protocol, and then you get a bump on your stake. That you're providing liquidity for on the other side of the bridge. The nice thing about bridge liquidity is that you only have to, there's no impermanent loss, right? You're not providing a pair. You're just providing one side of the swap. I'm not the swap, the bridge, to provide it on the other side of the chain. So to me, that's interesting. I've not done it. So
yeah. What do you think about I haven't heard much about this lately, but bridge hacks, aren't those mostly when stuff's in transit? They aren't hacking the liquidity pools on both sides of the bridge.
Well, there have been exploits that drained the pools on the sides of the bridges. Wormhole, I think, was one of those. Yeah, I think Wormhole was draining the pool. So there is. And look, bridges are risky as fuck, but I use them all the time. So. I
mean, there is some new stuff in bridges. I don't know if you talked about it or just came across it, but new bridges that don't require liquidity on both sides. It's like these multi-chain bridges that somehow they match you up. And I mean, I don't know. Was that X7?
Well, some of them not X7s. Some of them provide wrappers on the other side. One of them was the Printer protocol that changed its name to Tech Chain Link, something, I don't know. Anyway, and they had a model where what was bridging was their protocol token, right? So you would dump in your token, it would swap for their token at the current value, and then it would bridge it over fast because they have the minting capability on the other side. So you're not actually waiting for anything to except for the initial message to convert over. And then you take the printer token on the other side and convert it into the token you want it. But it wasn't a seamless process. They were supposedly going to be adding that. But there are bridges like that operate kind of on this wrapper model of transferring the value. When you control the token on both sides of it, the minting of the process, then it's a little easier and it's probably a lot safer, right? So anyway.
Cool.
I think that's it. Oh, yeah. Speaking of liquidity, LUSD on Stargate earning 7.2%. So another stablecoin play earning 7.2%. Again, I have no idea how they're doing it, but they may be leveraging the liquidity lending protocol itself, along with some other stuff. I don't know, but there's currently $950,000 locked on that on Stargate. So.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about. I haven't really dug in much there, but I know Shizzy talks a lot about Stargate.
Well, there you go.
And a lot of people, I'm hearing a lot of buzz about it over the last month or so. So something good is happening there, I presume.
Absolutely. So look, it's I thought we'd just do a little yield run today. I was kind of in the mood. kind of in the mood. And I'll post some more. I created a yield channel. So if you're out in the wild, folks, and you spot some cool yields, post it into the yield channel at t.me/mission DeFi, t.me/mission DeFi. There's now a yield channel. Also added a builder channel. Chuck wanted to get together with his fellow geeks and talk to builders, people who are actually building the space, writing code, etc. Eamon, you're a developer. You could jump in over there. Love to see a bunch of folks over there having chats and discussions and collaborating and working together. And Chuck and I are working on trying to set up a validator for Canto so everybody can play together, but we'll see how that goes. We're trying to figure it all out. But if we can get that up and running, and maybe everybody can make a little more than they normally would by staking on Canto. So we'll see what happens. So what else, Joe? You got anything else, buddy?
I mean, I'm sure I do. Can't think of anything right now. But,
sinus meds, dude.
Yeah, no, I did last night. It kind of makes me a little groggy, though. I kind of like to ride these things out without any medicine.
I do that sometimes too. Like it's like I don't want this. I just want it get all the snot out so it gets out all the shit. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's almost the top of the hour, so if I start on a topic, it'll just go for 15 minutes. But no, there was one thing I was thinking about was.
So he's gonna go ahead.
No, I just lost it. But
okay,
it'll come back. That's that Sudafed getting me.
There you go. There you go. All right, buddy. Everybody, thank you so much for participating. We love and appreciate that you're here. Sean, Niblets, Eamon, Chuck, Ronora, thank you very much. I want to check out Resonate, 27% on Y-Curve. That's pretty exciting. Shizzy, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Chuck, everybody else. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, just 2 minutes, folks. Pull the car over onto the shoulder at the rest area. Go into Apple Podcasts. Click subscribe. Click review. Say Joe and Brad are fucking awesome. Click submit. Click 5 stars. You're done. That's all you got to do. It's easy. It's done. It's done. Maybe we'll manufacture an NFT for everybody that gives us a review.
There you go. So that'll be worth bazillions one day.
It's a DeFi Lunch TV
NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Or warped pictures. We can't say a good review because then we'd be buying reviews and then we get banned by all the major podcast platforms. But we can say, if you give us a review. Anyway, thank you so much. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe button, click the little bell so you get alerted when we put out new episodes. And Joe would like for you to smash the thumbs up. He'd like you to
I got to do it more aggressively from Brad.
Thumbs up. There you go. Be aggressive, Joe. Be aggressive.
All right.
We appreciate you guys. We love you, Joe. Have a great afternoon. I hope you're feeling better by tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. Always a fun time.
That's it. All right, guys. Have a nice night.